What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. We're back up for some more MX Bikes action, and today we have got a new little collaboration release. We have got Exhibit/Kells' new release, which is going to come out today on the store. It is called 602 Raceway, and it looks very, very pretty. Like, really, really nice. So there's something like unique looking about it, and I can't really put my finger on it as to why. I'm not sure if it's just like different coloured dirt to what we usually see dotted around here, but it looks really, really pretty. I'll be honest, I don't have much more information on the track other than the name and that it's releasing today. I mean, we've got some elevation involved in here, which should be good fun. Although, based on my choice of bike for the video, which actually you can see sneaky... No, that's not... no, that is my one, yeah. We're riding the Honda 450 today, and that bike is a little bit of a tank. Cool here as well, seeing that Exhibit puts, I believe this is his members that he's got popped on here, as well as members of the X crew on there. So really cool to see. Nice to see people getting their flowers, showing their respects. Track actually looks really, really nice, really flowy. Lots of elevation to it, which I'm a fan of. You know, I love my tracks like the GP of France in Ernée, etc., that have some nice flowy hills. So hopefully more of this. So we're going to try and spin some laps, try and string together some nice smooth laps as well is the important thing. And I can see some sections like that is a steep jump face. Like if I can jump that all the way to like the end, that would be insane. But yeah, enough waffling. Let's just see how it goes, see how it rides. Right, let's see what this is all about then, eh? So on the map, on the bottom right, is this also like subscribers on Twitch as well by the looks of it? Lovely. Does that say Smokey in the middle? Oh, it might. No, it's never mind. It's Cynicky. I thought it said Smokey. I was like, damn, TKO's still about. Right, so let's get into it. Environment looks very, very pretty, especially that skybox in the background. I didn't even realise it was skybox at first. It kind of blends into the track and the environment really, really nicely. So good job on there. As you can see on the map on the right-hand side, the track isn't actually as long as I thought it looked. It looked really, really long and spiralling in the little flyover at the beginning. But let's see how this goes. I don't think you don't get that many like custom tracks these days that have a really, really good amount of elevation, like flowy elevation to them either. A lot of stuff's quite flat, I think. I think it's just easier to do rather than making hills that work and aren't disgustingly fast. And already, straight away, there looks to be a good amount of roughness around here as well, so you're not going to be absolutely sending it on every single straight. A little pre-jump on the left here. Oh, God. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on there? It's a weird rut to have, but that looks like where the start line will end up joining the track. So you can get some races going on around here as well. Hit the big yay. Okay, this is the big jump I was referring to. That jump before does slow you down a bit. You can still quad, though. You can probably 5 if you scumbag and low line on the side of the track. So, like you can see, you can kind of ride the tops around here where it's slightly raised around the outside. Yeah, you can probably scumbag it and then 5 that entire section. A little step up. Round to the left here. The whole track, just listening. No, not the whole track. He's got bits of sand dotted around here and there, so some parts of the track are normal soft soil, and then other parts have a little bit of sand put in them. It might just be the corners, actually. I can just kind of hear it. I can hear the little, like, scrapey sound effects that you get when you ride on sand tracks every now and then, but not everywhere. So I wonder if that's been done more so to slow people down, because you do ride sand a lot slower in the game these days than you used to back in the day. Like Beta 16 era, sand was just perfect, but no, these days it does slow you down quite a lot. Beta 16, you could just hold it wide open everywhere in sand and just absolutely rip around the track. It's fun going back and watching like old Lommel laps, for example. You'd never be able to get the bikes as cranked over these days as you would back then. Even though the bikes are faster these days, you can't run faster lap times just because of the way the tyres have traction on the sand. Little fun fact for you there. Up and over. Let's try this inside this time rather than the outside. See if we have some viable line options, which we do indeed. Still gives you a decent slingshot up the hill, or on the 450 at least. Some of the smaller bikes, you might want to just route that outside as hard as you can. And then, oh, no, that was my bad. Tried pushing the front end a little bit too much in there. And then, of course, Barboso couldn't just let me have a little tip over. The bike had to go and do a few trick shots into the corner. We'll ride up here. What's this right-hand side like? I took the left last time, so that's just a big send up and over. Looking at the start straight, actually, over here, that's quite unique. So it kind of... It's a start, and then it turns left, and then it's got its own unique jump compared to the rest of the track before you get on. I imagine that first corner there with that hill is going to be very chaotic if you have a full lobby around here. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then we just jump on the track here. Nice, no problem. Join on as normal. Lovely stuff. So now we're going to get back to this one. I'm going to scumbag it. So if I jump slightly to the left, I didn't jump slightly to the left, but I think you could probably ride across the top of here, still hit the timing gates, and then hit a big send. Call me K-Dub, transfer. Yes, lovely. Thank God that sign didn't have collisions. I reckon you can 5 that. You'll find a way, especially on like the KTM, the big boy bike, the fast bike. You can get up and over that, no problem at all. And then the Honda, it does leave a little bit to be desired, but I imagine people probably just get sick of seeing me ride KTM constantly, all the time in these videos. So I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. And I do really, really enjoy the 2025 Honda model swap. This isn't a private model. This is part of Dash Pack's model swap pack that he put on MXB Mods, and I believe it is Isaiah's bike originally from MX Simulator that Dash Pack bought and then imported over into MX Bikes. So yeah, this is just free if anyone wants to do it. Skins wise, I don't know. I think you probably have to contact Isaiah for the PSD and pay for the PSD itself. But I'm happy just running the stock looking bike. It looks absolutely fine to me. We're going to get around this outside. I feel like there's got to be a way of hitting a high spot on them ruts there to be able to jump all the way up and over, and I'm determined to find it. I don't know if it's going to be like you have to like roll the first one, there we go, and then jump off of that to get the wheels up and over. There's definitely a way of hitting that. Maybe if you just crank the bike over sideways in the air, then the wheels will clear it all. But I'm always a fan of jump faces that aren't just uniform, where, you know, they've got all these ruts here and there, so you can kind of try and work your magic a little bit, try and find a low line. Or if you are, like, if you say you've crashed before a jump, for example, and you need a little bit more pop off the jump, you can kind of like turn up the face of it and then hit the side of the ruts and it'll pop you higher. So I like when the jump faces have a bit more character. And to be fair, it looks like the entire way around this track has that. It's almost like it's not sandy in the conventional sense, but it is like slightly rollery / rutty around the entirety of it. So it's definitely a track that you kind of have to lock into a little bit originally to learn. I don't think you'd be able to just hop on and bark laps on this no problem, and you also have to try and discover what the fast lines are. That's not a fast line. I'm going to crash here. Never mind. Turn it into a backflip. No problem at all. I shouldn't have survived that. Hang on. We just did this for research purposes. I mean, I tried leaning back when I landed. Did I lean back? Yeah, I leant back when I landed, and just world's lowest backflip. MX Bikes. Simulation game. Anyway. I've been getting so much grief recently. There was a lot of drama actually popped off after the last aerial round because I turned shadows off for Google to be able to see better, and everyone suddenly had a problem with it when I started doing it, even though for the last 2+ years, like, all of my competition have had their game that way anyway. Usually I'll just like tough it out and leave shadows on, mostly because it makes the streams look better, so the game just looks better overall. But I thought, you know what, for Washougal, since I'm riding the 2 strokes, I'm technically already at a disadvantage. I'll turn shadows off just for once, so I'm on an even playing field to everybody else. It's not like I've done something nobody else has done, you know. But because I done it, it now seemed to be an issue, even though and this isn't me throwing shade at people, because people can run the game however they like. If it's in the game, by all means do it. But like Cam, for example, Hakon, for example, even all the way back to like GPs, the videos they upload on YouTube, they haven't had shadows at all throughout at least that period of time. So I don't understand now why, when I've done it, it's kind of issues and uproar, and I don't know, there's just a bunch of drama for some reason. But I've turned them back on now, so hopefully that can appease everybody. And I will say that I have personally messaged, well, I haven't messaged Paboso personally, but I've messaged the Paboso development Discord to say, hey, here's a screenshot of the track without shadows. Here's a screenshot of the same track with shadows. As you can see, it's basically night and day difference in how much you can see. Is there a possibility that we could get like a server option to make it whether shadows should be on or off? So then if you're riding around in testing, or you're just doing any normal online races, you can have shadows off as much as you like. I imagine some people will probably pull the FPS card out, even though I don't think that affects FPS much at all, because it's like the shadows are baked into the track essentially. But for the most part, I think it's just for vision. You know, I believe it's a very similar case. If you don't play CSGO, you'll have no idea. But a lot of top-level CSGO pros run like really, really low graphic settings there just to increase like fidelity, so they're able to see things easier. And it's even silly things like if you have anti-aliasing or like maxed out, so everything's really, really smooth, you won't be able to see enemies peeking around a corner as early because the game like makes extra pixels to smooth corners out. Then if you had anti-aliasing on nothing, and you start seeing the pixels of people peeking first. You know, it's just little things like that that people do to gain an advantage, and that's something that's happened in Bikes for quite a while. I didn't really realise until this year just how many people had shadows turned off anyway. But yeah, I mean, technically I've been at a disadvantage for the last 2 years or so, so I finally turned it off for a race. People now have an issue with it because I've done it. So we've got it back on, and I've just asked if there's any way it could be a server option. So for aerial races on tracks like Washougal, which are specifically designed to have lots of shadows to make it harder, you are forced to have them on. And then the rest of the time you can do whatever it is that you want. I did have a little bit of a read through, and apparently this same issue was discussed back when the whole tear off and roost thing got changed and patched. So if you turned like your roost off or your tear offs off in your game files, it would eject you for cheating. I think it was meant to be along a similar vein as that, but it just never happened, which is why I suppose nothing's really happened since then. I think the biggest gripe I've seen people have with it is the fact that it's changing game files rather than it being an in-game setting. So even if it was something that was just put in-game, I feel like it would be absolutely fine. No issue at all. Just like a toggleable slider. I mean, we got onto the debate, actually, of it's not realistic, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, the game tries to be a simulator, but it's not realistic at all. I mean, even MX Simulator, you can turn roost off, which isn't realistic. You know, everyone's going to roost you in real life unless they're going the same speed I do in real life, in which case your back tyre probably won't kick up any roost. Yeah, there's it's definitely a bit of a grey area, but yeah, I've slapped it back on now. It's only really for Washougal whilst I was riding a two-stroke that I wanted to be on an even playing field, so we'll go back to being disadvantaged for the rest of the season. So next round is at Dilla. I don't mind Dilla. I think Dilla's a decent track. I quite like watching the boys in real life when they go racing there. The tracks in game usually end up being really, really quick. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. I've ever been okay at the fast tracks so far this year, like Hangdown I've done pretty decent at. I'm trying to think of any others that were like wide open. I mean, Washougal was pretty damn quick the other day, and I've done okay there too until the road came in Moto 2. But no, I think in game it should be pretty good. I'm really, really happy with how the tracks have ridden this year. The only time that I've had any sort of complaints at all about the tracks was on Redbud when the tops of the ruts were like super peaky, so your bike would just get launched if you went near the tops of them. That's more so the track not fully suiting the game's physics at this moment in time, but every other track so far this year I haven't really had a problem with. I think I got frustrated at Parlour at round 1 from dragging handlebars on in ruts next to the rut that I was in because they was all so deep. Every other track's been good fun. Like, I really enjoyed Millville, really enjoyed Washougal as a track as well. Really enjoyed Southwick. Southwick was a really, really fun one for me. It's nice getting the occasional sand track in the calendar. And then, I'm hoping for more of the same. I think overall the team's done a really, really good job this year at not only making the tracks ride good, but in terms of the appearance of them aesthetically, they are the best tracks we have ever had in terms of replicas appearance-wise too. Really, really good job all around. So yeah, hope for more for the same for the last 3 rounds of this season. And unfortunately, we do have now a 2-week break until we do any more racing. So I need to try and find something to fill the void in the meantime. Probably just do some more public lobbies. That seems to be the best way. I'll probably do that Friday, to be fair, when there's no racing going on. Just throw some public lobbies up, do some elimination races. One subject that I did want to try and touch on is like team eliminations, where let's say you have 16 people in a server, you have 4 teams of 4, and then it's like Olympic scoring, where once the race finishes, you tally up everyone's scores. The team with the highest score, so the worst positions overall, would end up getting eliminated until you get down to like the final team, and then maybe within that team you have your own elimination. So like 1v1, v1v1, and something along that lines. I just imagine it'll be quite manual. You know, you have to keep track of everything. It might be quite timely. It wouldn't be a very quick thing to do, but it's a good idea. Copyright, if anybody else does it now. I've already preset it. It's mine. It's my idea only. Nobody else can steal it. Thank you. I'm thoroughly enjoying this track. I actually think I might prefer it more than EXC Raceway. And EXC Raceway was good fun as well. I played it just the other day with the AJP boys. We threw up in a server and was ripping around. This one, I think it kind of speaks more to my technical side rather than my wide open side, because this one does require a bit more skill. If you are someone newer to the game, I probably wouldn't recommend going down this route because it doesn't look that difficult originally, but it's all the little nuances in like the jump faces and in the ruts, these little bumps here and there. He's done a very, very good job of keeping you on your toes around the entire track, and he's also done a very good job of slowing the track down so you're not going wide open everywhere. Because on the surface, it looks like a track that would be really, really quick, but that doesn't seem to be the case. You kind of have to pick your way through it a little bit more. I'm going to quad that. I don't... Oh, I've cased the 5. Okay. Maybe the 5 isn't doable, unless... it's probably just a skill issue. Probably just haven't found the right line just yet. But overall, really, really nice track. Aesthetically, really nice. Textures look beautiful. I imagine that the bitrate on YouTube looks like absolute shit because of how detailed the textures are and how like grainy and rocky the textures are as well, so I apologise for that. But you have to take my word for it. In game, it looks really, really, really nice. I can't help the YouTube, the YouTube, like what's it called? Encoder? Might be the encoder. Yeah, that just affects the bit rate and makes it look poopy. But track flows really, really nicely. He's done a good job, and yeah, I like seeing these collaboration efforts. It's good. A lot of time looks like it goes into it. Now I am on for my best lap right now. Actually, I don't think it's a burner by any means. Oh, especially when I come up a little bit short there. We're a second and 40 milliseconds ahead to try and get a decent finish here. Oh, I sent it a bit too far. Not ideal. And then over the finish line. That didn't count. I must have gone off the track somewhere from my scumbaggy lines. But no, good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So thank you, Mr. Exhibit, for letting me actually cover this a little bit early. The track will come out today. I think he said it comes out at 9... I think it's Pacific. Whatever the American time zone is that starts with a P. I can't remember. It might be PST or PCT or whatever. It comes out at 9 in the US. And yeah, keep your eye out for it. And go and give it a cheeky little download if you like what you see. Thank you, Kels, for making it. Thank you, Exhibit, again, for letting me have it early. Thank you for all of you for watching. If you did enjoy what you saw today, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's greatly appreciated. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with a YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.